Good evening, Britannia, and hello to all the other freedom fighters around the world. Welcome to 2CTV. Let's talk about London. Let's talk about, well, the capital of the Western world. It used to be, right? Well, the capital of the civilized Western world is collapsing, and especially the last few years, thanks to our mayor, Saad IQ Khan. Hello to everybody in the live chat. We'll get your reaction as usual. We're going to talk about what's been going on, and not just today, but over the last couple of days. There's so much has happened in London. Disruptions left, right and centre. The far left going hand in hand with Islamists in this city are bringing down safety of our people. And in this video, we're going to show you some videos from what's been going on in the British Museum. Let's get on with the show. Alright, so in case you don't know, let me just quickly give you a summary of what you have missed over the last couple of days in London. Over the weekend, every single day, something happened. First, we had the situation with a bus being attacked with someone with chemical substance, acid or whatever they had. We also had Soho Theatre, where a comedian was performing. And the comedian started flying the flags of Palestine, the Palestinian Authority, as well as the Ukrainian flag. And there were a number of Jews in the audience, and then the comedian started to get the whole crowd, the mob, to target them, chase them out. So we had that to deal with. Yesterday we had the British Museum to deal with, which was occupied. And even today we also had an emergency last-minute protest outside Downing Street. This has been going on for the past couple of days. Every single hour, something's happening in this city. We have some videos from the British Museum. We're going to show you in a second. But these guys, they call themselves, I believe, an energy embargo for Palestine. So this is basically the reason that these organizations exist, because they get a lot of big money from certain organizations like Big Society and many others. These type of organizations like George Soros. And they have a lot of money. That's why they always have identical placards, signs and flags. They all look the same because they're all centrally funded. This is the far left and Islamists organizing it together. Let's go to a number of videos we have from what happened in the British Museum and why the police didn't act quickly.
From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly.
So yeah, this is London Stan under the leadership of Saad IQ Khan, the mayor of London. We do have a statement from the museum, the British Museum. They came out to say, the British Museum respects other people's rights to express their views and allows peaceful protest on site at the museum, as long as there's no risk to the collection, staff or visitors. You are basically inviting more nutters to go in there and disrupt the whole thing. Now, the problem that the British Museum have and this statement is the fact that they are being extremely selfish because they are cowards. They don't want to upset anybody. That's why they're doing this. The issue that we have is that whether you're talking about a business or an institution, whether it is private or public, because they're still in public, you have to deal with visitors or customers, right? Even if it's a shop. You have to prioritize your clients and visitors. The more you invite people to take over your museum to protest, few people are going to go there. It's going to backfire on you. I don't understand why these people are so cowardice. And again, it's not really a surprise. This is the British Museum, which has been infiltrated by the woke tards. That's why they're doing this. Now, you might wonder who these people are. Energy Embargo for Palestine, they're called. By the way, they need to come up with a better name, because when you hear the words energy embargo for Palestine, it makes you think of something else. Because you think that they want embargo for Palestine. What they mean is they need to do an energy embargo on all of us and the Jews and everybody else, Israel. Do it for the sake of Palestine. They just don't know how to write things. They said this on social media. The repression only fuels our favor to act. British Museum, we have one message for you. Drop your BP sponsorship or we will be back. No fuel for colonial genocide. No fuel for imperialists. So imperialistic. So scary. What? Okay, so BP. I love how these people who have managed to infiltrate every organization, including BP these days, they are literally attacking themselves at this point. The left always ends up eating itself. It's the same thing when you go to these Saturday protests in central London with the pro-Palestinian protests, and every time there's a rainbow flag to be allies from the LGBT community, the other Islamists actually target them, take away the flags and go away. You're not welcome here. Yeah, Gates for Palestine. How's that going? So that's what we have to deal with, this new group. It's not really a new group. It's the same people, they just changed the logos and brandings. We also then heard, of course, Stop the War got involved as well. It's the same people. Then they posted this following the occupation of the British Museum. Emergency protest. This happened a few hours ago in London. Rafah under attack. Stop the genocide. Today, Monday the 12th of February, 5:30 p.m, opposite Downing Street. The fascinating thing about this was actually a last-minute announcement. I do love how there's a concept called emergency protest. It's like when you're like last minute, it's like around midnight, and you kind of want McDonald's. I want a last minute emergency McDonald's or emergency beer. But no, we could also have emergency protest. Oh yeah, last minute protest. But they did this. Big crowd turned up outside Downing Street. These people don't have jobs. I don't know where they come from, but they seem to be always available for organized protests and pre-arranged ones, as well as the emergency ones. It's absolutely fascinating. But of course, that's already finished because the police had to remove them from the area. It's not going to stop them from doing these sort of things regularly. As we said, the problem we have with this story is that the fact that the British Museum came and basically welcomed them. But the fact that they said, well, we will allow you to actually do peaceful protest on site. We don't care about our visitors. Just come and take over. And then the idiots came and said, the actual nutters, they said, you need to drop your BP sponsorship or we'll be back. Well, it's not really a threat, is it? Considering the British Museum invited you to come back. It makes no sense. The museum said, feel free to come back. And then the far left and the Islamists said, we're going to come back. Yes, that's what they said as well. Listen. It's like the BLM movements, but on steroid. It's the same people. It's just they just change their flags and signs every now and then. They are professional protesters that would just change the cause based on each season and theme. All right, let's see what we have in the chat. I think we have a super chat as well. There we go. We got Moses. Wow, we have a prophet. Moses, thank you so much for your super chat support from Israel. It's not about a protest, and it's not about Israel Gaza. Those maniacs are taking over with the support of the stupid lefties and the local police. But the problem is, it is about the ideology of Islam and Marxism. That's the point. They are using the conflict in Gaza and Israel as an excuse to take over. That's the problem. They always change the narrative depending on what the season is and what the current theme is. The British Museum was one of those tranquil landmarks where I used to see all the history. Now, this has dispelled my calmness. Unfortunately, I cannot disagree. All these Islamists will leave them, the left-wing homos and trans people, at the next election. Then they will understand what it was all about. The thing is, the political left still haven't really understood what's going on. They're naive ones. I'm not talking about those in power. I'm not talking about those actually behind the scenes funding these things. The funny thing about this is that a lot of them get surprised, including last week when we were at the pro-Palestine protest or anti-Israel protest in London, where a couple of people approached us and they confronted us. And part of that conversation, I mentioned to them, have you not seen in these protests, whenever there is some sort of liberal lefty coming with the rainbow flag to show solidarity when it comes to Palestinian cause, they always get targeted by the Islamists. And the woman who was there to protest, she was surprised, like, what? I've never seen that before. They still haven't seen much. This is just the beginning. Exactly. This comment also proves what I said. Don't the Marxist idiots and realize what Islam will do to them eventually. The idea that the Marxists, and they also come in different shapes and forms, whether it's socialists or communists or they're Leninists or whatever they are, they think that they are the ones who are going to be taking over the world. In their utopia, one world where everybody will be nice to each other, right? And if you're not nice, we will force you to be nice to each other. The problem with that is that they think they originally came up with the one world communist government. No, it was Muhammad and those guys. The original idea of a one world government came from them, under the umbrella of Islam. So good luck with that. I wonder, if there's a battle between the far left and the Islamist side, ideologically speaking, who's going to win? Oh yes, the people who are not afraid to give their own lives for the cause and their own ideology. They're literally not afraid of death. And these pink hair, avocado eating, latte drinking, iPhone carrying idiots, spoiled, privileged middle class kids with mummy and daddy issues, think that they can counter that? Good luck with that. The only people who complain about capitalism and democracy are the people who live in democracies and capitalist countries. Nobody from West Germany tried to go to East Germany. Nobody from South Korea tried to go to North Korea. It's always been the other way around. And these days, nobody from Egypt wants to go to Gaza. Everybody from Gaza wants to go to Egypt, but Egypt won't let them in. I wonder why. We don't seem to have any left-wing trolls or Islamists in the live chat. That's a shame. Do we have anything? What's this? Dave says it was the same with the Jews blaming whites for anti-Semitism until Islamic animals were out in the open. Leftists will suffer the same. To be fair, let's not forget the late 19th century and earlier 20th century, most of the hate towards the Jews was coming from white Eastern Europeans. So it wasn't actually, the big battle back then wasn't really the Islamists, because they had not been strengthened at the time. Liberalism in the 2020s is strictly for the low IQ. Well, I think you mean leftism rather than liberalism, because obviously the left also hate liberalism. And the liberals that we call liberals, they're not liberals, they're basically leftists. Liberalism is what we have to defend. Classical liberalism, not really this modern, nonsensical, wishy-washy, idiotic idea. Because what we are hearing, liberalism these days, is collectivism. It's basically big government collectivism. It's not liberalism. Hans Argov says, the French gave political asylum to the guy who overthrew the Shah, and Marxists helped Islamists to get on to power, and people still can't learn from Iran. Iran is actually the perfect example of what you actually have to learn from history. As a civilization that obviously evolved, and obviously they had also had the ancient civilization. They came up with the first Charter of Human Rights under Cyrus the Great, but then obviously in the 20th century, they created constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy. And of course, CIA got involved, didn't go well. They had to go back to monarchy for a little bit. And then the Soviet communists were trying to do revolution. So that the Shah of Iran, the last king, had to be robust against them because they were doing treason. And then You had the Ayatollahs rising up slowly. Nobody even cared about them. Obviously, Ayatollah Khomeini was sent into exile by the king, by the Shah. And everybody now, in hindsight, they said, you should have just killed him. But he had a good heart. He said, well, he's just an old man. He's just a cleric. Just send him to exile. And that became the problem because the Ayatollah Khomeini in Paris, essentially that was the time when he met with CIA. He met with the French intelligence and MI6. They trained them. And the idea that the Western globalists had was, if we get these guys, we could stop the Soviet Union from taking over Iran. And Ayatollah Khomeini also managed to trick the Marxists and the communists who were protesting in Iran. So after the Shah was kicked out, after the paramilitary coup done by the Islamists and the communists, Ayatollah Khomeini said, yeah, let's have a republic, democracy. They had the first, obviously, election, which was fake from the beginning anyway, but they couldn't really fully control it. That's why the socialists ended up winning. And then they were like, okay, we can't actually allow proper democracy. So the Islamists also betrayed the same socialists and Marxists that they helped them to get into power, as this comment says. And somehow, people in the West still haven't learned. How many times same thing has to happen? And how many times do we have to tell people, learn from history? Of course, humans never learn. It's one of the beauties about humanity. What's going on here? Nigel's Free says, I think we need to start looking into the SEAL security badges that are given out to dinghy boys, because every hotel that are housing illegals seem to have ex-customers as security. I need to look into that. Oh, what's this? What? God's Child says, you're the most racist, evilest people on the face of this earth. You're the head leaders of Islam. You black are not... I don't understand what's going on here. Is that supposed to be about me? Because he's saying you. Also, you black are Nazis. I don't know what's going on in this comment, but if someone could translate this, that would be great. All right. We are getting very close to civil war against Islam if someone doesn't stand against these people. But the thing is, if you stand against them, that's when also the civil war will start anyway. So it seems inevitable whether you do it or not, unfortunately. Have you moved into a cupboard? It's looking very small, but you can bang your head on the wall. No, look. It's a big space. It's the corner of the same room. Just made it slightly better compact, so you could actually see my face better rather than being at the back. Anyway, enough about my face. We have also another super chat. Thank you so much from the State of Israel. See, Mossad continues to fund me. It's the gamer says, what country are you from? I thought it was obvious. Well, no, to be fair, most people, if they knew, they wouldn't know. My ethnicity is Persian. My parents were from Iran, in case you don't know. Had to escape the Islamism and the religion of Islam. And some people get surprised. They always say, oh, are you an ex-Muslim? I was never a Muslim, not even when I was born. Of course, those who don't know, not everybody in Iran is a Muslim. The regime is, but less than 30% in Iran are practicing Muslim. The rest are obviously got quiet Christians, and atheists and Zoroastrians who are also on the rise. And for a lot of people like me and my family, it was not an easy place to stay and live. That's why my mum was actually saved by the British Embassy and came here. Martin says, come on, Maya, these are trying to create our utopia. Just joking. Yes, far right. Karen says, looks like someone really wants to know what country you're from, considering it's been asked about 50 times. I know, Karen. I know. Probably should put like some sort of subtitle, not subtitles, the rolling banner things. But there is also the problem is there's a couple of these Wikipedia style pages on Google about me, and they're all so wrong, and people still believe what they see on the internet. So apparently one of them said I'm married. There was another one that said I'm gay. Is it because I'm sassy? And then a lot of them say I'm a Muslim. I'm like, oh, wow. And I don't know if I was offended more. The fact that I was married or that I was a Muslim or a gay. And then there was, there was also a lot of information about my wealth. Like, how do you know? How do these people get? And then people believe that. Andrew says, you're a good person, Maya. Your heart's in the right place. It better be, otherwise I won't be able to live. That was a terrible joke, Maya. Terrible joke. Maya TC needs to be cancelled. James says, Maya is more British than me, and I'm English. Brilliant. What happened to this? Okay, comments go so fast. What is happening? I just saw a comment and it just disappeared. Oh, what's this? Manisha says, are you Parsi? Well, Persian, they are very nice. Yeah, so in terms of ethnicity from Iran, I'm Persian. Obviously, you got Persian Iranians, you got Turkish Iranians, Jewish Iranians, Arab Iranians. There's a few of them in the south. But my background, the family background is obviously Persian Iranian. But I'm a proud Brit and you can't do anything about it. There we go. Jay gets it. Maya is from the UK. He is more patriotic than some native people. We accept and enjoy and like Maya very much. Yet I'm still single. You all say you like me. Paul says, Maya, although, how many wives you got? I literally said I need a wife. Go get me a wife. Go on, Paul. It's your job now. We did one time turn the live stream into some sort of dating agency for Maya. Why am I talking third person? Another super chat I just missed. There's a super sticker from Lady Heather T. Thank you so much for your support, Lady Heather. And what else have I missed? Narnian Railway. People think Maya is a married gay Muslim who watches BBC. Amazing. Okay, do we have anything? Oh, there we go. We got the other side. We got Riyadh saying free Palestine. If you could explain exactly where Palestine is, that would be great. Also, there's no P in Arabic. There's no such thing as Palestine. Sharon has proposed. I'd marry you. There we go. Okay, we're gonna start a queue. Get in the queue. No, well, thank you, Sharon. Call me. I'm kidding. All right, I'm kidding. Tobias, a super chat from Tobias. Thank you so much, saying thank you. The world needs more journalism like this. Well, narcissistic, egotistical, crazy talk about me all the time. Journalism, yeah, we need that. Daniel says you have my vote in Scotland, Maya. Okay, let's not go crazy now. The W says free Palestine, but from Hamas. Absolutely agree. Where is the guy? Where's the Palestinian guy? I miss him. The guy who said free Palestine. Come on, guys. Is he hiding? Say something else. Otherwise, for those of you who joined us late, don't worry. I'm going to give you a recap of the video of the far left and the Islamists taking over the British Museum. Let's go.
From the belly of the beast. Hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast. Hands of the Middle East. From the belly.
Yeah, the crazies are once again out in central London. As I said, the problem that we have is it's just how regular and how often these sort of incidents are happening. As I said, over the last couple of days, we had a bus in London being attacked, chemical substance, acid, whatever it was. We had the Soho Theatre where a so-called comedian was performing, and they discovered a few people in the audience happened to be Jewish. They decided to chase them out. We then had the British Museum getting occupied. by these spoiled virgins. And then we also had today, outside Downing Street, a so-called emergency protest because of Rafah. And this is the problem, because usually in any city or country, when an incidents like this happen, any of them, it will be seen as a big incident because they should be less regular. And then you get some sort of response and statement from the mayor of that city or the police. We don't really get anything anymore these days. Not really, because they're all used to it. We don't really get any sort of response properly from the mayor or even the prime minister, unless the incident is huge. The fact that the smaller incidents are just casual is the problem. When was Palestine created as a country? Whenever. Who are the kings of Palestine? Or the presidents? Who are the prime ministers? If anyone can answer this question, I'll accept there is a Palestine. Also, let's not forget about the flag. The fact that they stole a flag from a different country only in the 60s, and then they just made some amendments. The whole point of that was, again, forget about the whole Roman Empire there and the Philistines and everything else. Then the whole thing became, as a word, the Palestinian area, in terms of geography, anybody who was living there. And we are talking about, even in the 18th century, 19th century, whenever it was, you had Christians, Jews, Arabs, Muslims, everybody living there anyway. So now, only since the mid-20th century, the narrative changed, and the word Palestine or Palestinian is now associated with Muslim Arabs. It was never the case before. It was just anybody who was in the area, and the Israelites and everybody else who were from Israel. But now, you hear the word Palestine or Palestinians, you only think, oh, Muslim Arabs, the brown guys, yeah, the ones with the dirty beards. No, that was never the case before. The whole thing changed. I do love that parts of the interview between Putin and Tucker Carlson was the history lesson. And the fact that Putin was saying, because historically that land was always basically Russia and Russians, then it doesn't exist. It's not a real place. But Russia and Putin have never been actually have never accepted the state of Israel in a friendly way. But if you actually agree with history, there was always Israel there. The kingdom, back in the days, they were always there. They had a flag, an actual flag. Yeah, they had a kingdom. So if you go with history, people like Putin should actually be on the Israel side, but no. Super chat from David Harvey. Thank you, David. And a super sticker from Thomas. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Yeah, focused on all the others as well. I always usually miss one or two super chats, which is really embarrassing, by the way. Okay. Let's see what else we have before we let you guys go. We have oh, there we go. Another. See, I knew that I was going to miss one. Another super sticker. Thank you very much. Halley's Comet and Zoop. Super chat support saying, what do you think will be the future of Iran? Do you think the Baluchi rebels in the south will have a country? No, so the one interesting thing about the uprising in Iran, oh, what am I doing? The uprising in Iran over the last few years is for the first time since 1979. All regions and all tribes and all ethnicities in Iran have finally united, which is really interesting because you still had the Kurds, you had all the Baluchis, you had all the others, different parts of the country who were fighting in the past for their own independence. Now we have a situation, even the Kurds and everybody else are actually all fighting for Iran. They want their own tribes, they want their own provinces, but everybody is basically mostly united. The consensus is, let's go back to the original, old school Persian constitution, and then have a referendum, whether you want to have a actual democratic republic or constitutional monarchy, parliamentary democracy. They'll have the options ready. And for a country and civilization like Iran, unlike the Arab countries where they didn't have any of that, And then the Americans were like, we're going to introduce you to democracy. And they're like, what? Iranians always had it. They had the culture, they had the civilization, they had constitutional monarchy, they had parliamentary democracy. So for them, they know exactly what they want. They are ready for it, and they're all united. Which again, you couldn't have said that before, because until a few years ago, you had the Iranian opposition, so many different groups, always just divided and fighting against each other. It was complete chaotic, and you had socialist nutters. But now they're all, generally speaking, united. There is one main opposition. It's the National Council, currently led by the Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi, and he's the main advocate, essentially. But it doesn't mean that, everybody wants the king back, but a lot of people do want monarchy back. Constitutional monarchy, not some sort of dictatorship, obviously. They're going to decide that based on a referendum result, of course. And it will happen, by the way. It's just a matter of timing. The changes you are seeing in the Middle East, all the attacks on Israel is going to make that happen, actually. Hamas will get weakened. Hezbollah will get weakened. The Houthis will get weakened. The Hezbollah of Iraq will get weakened. Bashar al-Assad eventually will get weakened. And every single one of the nutters will get weakened. And that will bring the Iranian regime down. And then you can have some sort of hope for some sort of peace and quietness in the region and for the rest of us in the West. A super chat from Esther, thank you so much, saying keep up the great work from Israel, and a super sticker from Darren. Thank you so much, Darren, for your support as well. I'm going to leave you guys. It's been a crazy long day, of course. If you joined the live stream late, feel free to scroll back to the beginning of the live stream where we had all the details before we went to the live chat. And also, actually, let me just double check before we go, because yes, we are getting close already to 397,000. Look at this beauty. 396,000 right now. Almost 3,000 to go. Just over 3,000 to go to get to 400,000. So subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Maya2C, and we are the media.